welcome to this new edition of Youth Focus. My name is Shelby, and some of you might know me from the White Pride band Heritage Connection. For those of you who've never seen this show before, let me start out by saying thanks for tuning in, and then tell you a little bit about the show. Youth Focus is a show dedicated to all the white youth out in the world, because we want you to know that you're not alone, and that it's okay to be white and proud, no matter what people say. My first article today is it's titled Teenage Gang Charged Under Lynching Law After Savage Attack on 18-Year-Old Student. Now, the teenage gang that they're talking about is a bunch of black teenagers, and the 18-year-old that was savagely attacked and beaten was a white boy. So, 4 members of a teenage gang have been charged under a state's lynching law after allegedly beating an 18-year-old student so badly he required facial reconstructive surgery. South Carolina prosecutors have charged the boys with second-degree assault and battery by mob, a crime which until last year was known as lynching. The 8 members of the gang, the youngest of whom is just 13, allegedly set upon Carter Strange in a parking lot as he jogged back to his home in Columbia. They allegedly turned themselves in after surveillance footage of the gang roaming the streets in the area was released on local television. The savage attack left Carter so badly injured his mother, Vicky, almost didn't recognize him when she saw him lying on his hospital bed. He was left with a broken nose and a broken eye socket, and doctors had to operate to remove a blood clot. Mrs. Strange arrived in court on Friday with her husband John to watch as the eldest of the gang, 19-year-old Thiam Henry, was charged with second-degree assault and battery by mob, common law robbery, and criminal conspiracy. A 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old appeared in juvenile court to be charged with strong-arm robbery, second-degree assault and battery by a mob, and criminal conspiracy. A 13-year-old and 3 other 16-year-olds were charged with criminal conspiracy. They are all too young to be named. Now, I think it's good that they have brought all of these black teenagers in, and they're having them they're being punished for beating up this 18-year-old white boy. But what I'm wondering is if any of them's ever going to bring up the fact that, most likely this is a hate crime. They saw this white boy running through this parking lot, and they're all out there, and I think, and I'm thinking this is probably true, they went after this kid because he's white. They saw, this 18-year-old white kid going through, and they're like, let's go beat up the white kid. But, no one's going to bring that up because, no one wants to be called racist, and so, they're not even going to bring that up. And, these kids aren't going to get punished for that, and they should be. But, white people are the only ones that are capable of being racist, and, white people will get charged of a hate crime because, they insulted someone at a checkout line, but, these 8 black kids ganging up on this poor 18-year-old kid running through the parking lot trying to get home, no one's going to bring it up on that. The brutal beating happened last Sunday when Carter, described as a sweet and quiet boy, was jogging back home from a friend's house. Mrs. Strange said she called him just after midnight, his curfew time. She told Channel 10 at 12:07 he wasn't home. I called him and said, "Carter, where are you?" He said, "Mom, I'm almost home. I'll be there in just a minute." At 12:15 I called, but the phone was dead. The gang had allegedly been roaming around the area for most of the evening, and police said they had already tried and failed to rob 4 other people. When they saw Carter, they allegedly ran towards him, savagely assaulted him, and stole his cell phone. Police Chief Randy Scott said this teenager was minding his own business, trying to make his curfew when he was brutally attacked and robbed. Why? Because he was white. And, these black kids, black people, as much as people don't want to say it, the black people are racist towards white people, and they don't like white people. Mrs. Strange told Channel 10, "We just got lucky he didn't die. Next person won't be lucky. If they did this now, what's going to stop them from doing it again?" And that is exactly the point. What's going to stop them from doing it again? Nothing. These black teenagers are just 13, 14, 15 years old, and they're already brutally beating people up and robbing them. So what's going to stop them from doing it again? My second article here, it's titled LGBT History Lessons. Parents will have no say. California's bill that would require public schools to teach about prominent figures in lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender history has gone to the governor's desk for signing. Bill 48, or the Fair Education Act, passed in the California State Assembly, now awaits Governor Jerry Brown's signature. Ron Prentice, executive director of the California Family Council, does not believe the measure has popular support. While we think that the majority of Californians are unfortunately uninformed of this legislation, we know that if they were informed of this legislation, they would protect the rights of innocent children in the classroom, he suggests. Because, most people do not want, this lesbian, gay, and bisexual, transgender history forced upon their children. I think that these parents should have a say in what their kids are being taught. Little is known of the instructional materials that would follow the bill's passage, but Prentice believes homosexual activists will be called upon to develop lessons. And he reports that parents will not be able to opt their children out of this public school requirement because it's not part of this sexual education course curriculum. Parents legally don't have the right to pull their children out of the program because, the government, they're your kids, but when it comes right down to it, you don't get to do what you want with your kids anymore. The government owns your kids, and they have the right to do with your kids whatever they please. Take them away and teach them what they want, and, I'm a big supporter of homeschooling, and, I think that when you've got stuff like this going on in schools, you need to get involved in homeschooling while you can, and get your children out of these classes because they don't need to be learning this stuff. This is garbage, and it's wrong that they're forcing this onto your children. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the few things I had to say, and remember that it's okay to be white and proud, and you're not alone. And just remember to be aware of what's going out in the world, and keep yourself informed so you're not left behind in the dust, and keep up with the issues. And I hope you will tune in next time.